Hello, everybody. Welcome back at Sport Federation TV. Well, lots on the show for you tonight. We, of course, take a look at equestrian. You'll, of course, know that we spoke recently to climbing. Of course, boxing had their Western Cape Championships last week. So, very exciting. On the line with me now, Shaun Gordon, President of Western Cape Lifesaving. Shaun, welcome back.
Welcome. Nice being here, and to you and your viewers. Thanks,
Yeah.
JP.
Always good to catch up with Lifesaving. We know that you guys are busy. But let's talk about that for a second. I mean, you're off season now, right, Shaun?
Yeah, that's correct. Off-season is always one of the busiest for the administrators.
And the athletes, do they do any off-season training at this time? I mean, you've got competitions coming up. So I'm sure the athletes, I mean, your athletes are high-performance athletes. They can't go to sleep for 3 months.
No, definitely not. There's a lot happening behind the scenes. We have World Life-Saving Champs coming down in Italy in September. So our national teams, they are busy. We're having trials for Western Cape next week, and that's where we'll be choosing the top guys from Western Cape to present at interprovincials. This year, interprovincials will be a bit different, as our national team hasn't been competing too much in the last 2 years. So to give them that extra boost in competitions, the national team will be competing against the rest, at interprovincials against the provinces, which will give them some good training. So yeah, so we've got a lot coming forward. Yeah.
Shaun, tell me a little bit about the trials that start at the beginning. You say you've got trials coming up. How does that work? And who will be participating in the trials and where?
Okay, what happens during the season? We have about 3 carnivals, junior, senior carnivals, and then we have our Lifesaving Western Cape Champs. We the whole of the province guys, they compete there. Then obviously we go to nationals, Life South Africa National Champs. That's normally happening in Quebec. So now we have interprovincial. So each region or each province needs to have a team. So with the results, we have a selection panel, and they look at the results for the carnivals happen. They look at the results for the Western Cape Champs and the results of athletes for national champs. And based on that, the selectors will invite guys to participate at the trials.
Yeah.
So that's normally your top 1, 2, 3 guys from all disciplines, and they competed out from currently our 2 districts, which is Eden and Cape Town district. And there we pick our Western Cape team.
So with the trials, Shaun, is it a club trials, or do the athletes compete as individuals against each other?
They compete as individuals against each other.
Yeah.
To give the selectors a clear idea of who should be in the team. Yeah. So they have the results, and there's maybe an unsurety of second, third place. We know the top guy is JP Nodi. He's good in swimming and he's good on the beach. And now we just got to see if Shaun Gordon can still make it. So the 2 of us will be competing. That's basically what happens at trials. And from there, they take the best of the crop.
I'm not sure if me and you are going to make it into, certainly I'm not going to make it into any swimming team, that's for sure.
Yeah.
2 things I've never been good at is swimming or throwing a basketball. For some reason, I think I'm too short for that. For both of those sports. No. But you've got some top athletes coming through the ranks, Shaun. I mean, the guys are doing really well. Do you have a sense like that you've got your kind of like your top champions, the guys who compete all the time? You know, if we look in tennis, you're always throwing names around like a Rafael Nadal. I mean, and you know we've had some big names in Lifesaving. You've even had some world champs. Have you got that sort of sense when you go to the trials or you go to a competition? Look out for this guy or that girl. They're gonna dominate today.
Yeah, look at it. I tell you, we've got quite a big peak. Although we're only 2 regions or 2 districts, our Cape Town guys has been doing really well. If you look at clubs like Clifton, Llandudno, Big Bay, there's some good guys coming through, youngsters coming through, giving the senior guys actually a run for their money. So yeah, it changes. It changes every year. So competition is tight.
Right.
Competition is tight.
Yeah.
The guys are really at it to win it. I mean, we've got next weekend. There's also the SA canoe coming down. So a lot of our competitors from lifesaving are in the canoe, so they're going down there. But what I'm saying, competition, you really need to work hard. So I
Yeah.
cannot say exactly. Look out. Like I mean, if you can remember Raul de Mornay, you knew he's going to be in the team.
Yeah.
But come now, um, where Raul is not in Western Cape, come now, it's open for everybody.
It's open
So the
season.
guys are fighting for places. You'll have at the one carnival you have one guy coming first. Next carnival is the next guy coming first. So it's really we got team coming through. We've got weeks because we see the sport of lifesaving growing. We see the interest happening there. So we stand behind our sporting guys, our athletes 100%. And
Yeah.
there's all opportunities for them to this grow further.
So, tell me a little bit more about the nationals versus provincial competitions here. I suppose that's a good opportunity for the provincial guys to test themselves and to check, their standards.
Yeah, definitely. When the discussions happened, when it came from our national sports board, there was, some were against, some were for, but we realized there's going to be opportunity, number one, for our national team to get more exposure and more training in.
Yeah.
And then we also realized, the up and coming guys that um, they just about didn't make it to the provincial team. Now it's their opportunity to get in the provincial team and actually have a taste of what it is to be in the provincial team and a taste of competing against the top crop South Africa, the national team, which will further motivate, especially our junior guys that will be competing. So yeah, it's exciting times. We're looking forward. It's going to be the time that we do this, but we show that athletes that is, that's coming third, fourth place, they are probably over the moon if they're going to make it into the provincial team, and this gives them a boost in life-saving competition.
And Shaun, from a membership point of view, when is a good time to join a club? I mean, you said it's off season at the moment, but are the clubs open to accept new members at the moment, or do they sort of open their doors a little bit later?
Well, JP, this time of the year is basically the best time to join the club because
Right.
during off season is when we have the training happening. Our lifeguards are certified lifeguards. So you have two types of awards. There's the Junior Lifeguard Award, the JLA, which we call it, and then we have the LA Award, which is the Lifeguard Award. And during winter, as when classes are happening, during winters when they're doing most of their training, and they normally pass out around about August, September. So come season time in November, we've got additional lifeguards, qualified lifeguards that is on our beaches. And so the best time is basically to join us, Ryan, when the season is just about finished,
Yeah.
because then you're going to get involved. You'll be qualified when the next season starts. So clubs are busy, clubs are active, clubs are operational. There's the website of Lifesaving Cape Town District or Lifesaving Western Cape. They can go on there, have a look, see what club is nearer to them, get in contact with the clubs. And yeah, it's a fun sport.
And
It's
and
like
what do you
you,
generally need if you
yeah.
want to join a club? I mean, other than a speedo, is there or swimming costume, or what do you generally need to join a life-saving club?
Well, basically, you must be passionate about it. You must be able to can swim. There's the requirement to get in. Basically, it's a 400-meter swim under 8 minutes. That's in the pool. So if you're
Yeah.
looking at the 50-meter, 33-meter pool is about 16 lengths. A 50-meter pool is about 12 lengths. And most of the clubs look at that as a requirement. But that shouldn't be off because a lot of the clubs have like a learn to swim. So you're
Yes.
interested, you want to get involved. The guys basically teach you from the offset, from the beginning, or they advise. A lot of the clubs are involved with aquatics,
Yes.
swimming. So they advise to join one of the clubs. Once you're ready, come back. You still want to do life saving, get involved. So
Right.
any time of the year is the best time, but I think this before wind be greater because that's when training classes and that all happen.
So it's a good time to join right now. Off-season, administrators can sign you up, and you can learn to swim, get involved in the club culture, get involved with the life saving, and when summertime comes, then you're ready to go to action.
Definitely, and Speedo will be looking good on you in the summertime.
Shaun, we'll leave it at that. Fantastic chatting with you. Always excited to know that Western Cape Lifesaving is so active. You've got all the athletes going to competitions, you've got trials, you've got national interaction. Yeah, and of course we know that you guys have got the interprovincials coming up in 2 months' time. We'll be talking to you about that before that, of course. But yeah, fantastic to catch up, and best of luck out there.
Thanks a lot, JP. It's always a pleasure, and thanks for your guys' support in making the sport grow.
There we go. Right, folks, there you go. Shaun Gordon, president of Western Cape Lifesaving. And of course, as you heard him say, now's a fantastic time to join a lifesaving club. www.lifesavingwp, Western Province is, of course, one of the websites that you can go to. And reach out there. There's a number of lifesaving clubs in the Western Cape. Find one near you. Now is a fantastic time to join a club, as he said. And then, of course, when summer comes around, you'll pretty much be ready to go into action. And remember, there's no barrier to entry. You can just get involved. We'll leave it at that. When we come back, we'll carry on speaking about sport in the province. Back in a sec.